Holly here. I'm a full-time hot yoga instructor in Washington, D.C. at Hotspot DuPont. I'm currently filming some short tutorials on the 26 and 2 Bikram hot yoga sequence. So today I'm going to go over pada-hastasana, hands to feet, the first forward fold. And this is part of the half moon hands to feet sequence. So I'll just briefly show you the other parts, right? You bend this spine one way, to the right, to the left. If you do the back bend, I'll show you from the side. And then you come up, and for pada-hastasana hands to feet pose, keep in mind you've already bent the spine right, left, backwards, right? Now you're going forward. So to go into the posture safely, suck your stomach in, and you're gonna think about hinging at your hips. Now eventually you can go down with legs locked, but remember that you can bend your knees. It's most important to keep the spine straight and the arms with the ears. So I'll show you with bent knees, which I think a lot of people do. I'm going down with a flat back, stomach in, arms with the ears, weight in the toes. Yeah, so I'm already bringing the weight into my toes. Put your hands on the floor and go for a walk, move your hips, shake your head. So this is a U-turn from back bending to forward folding. At the beginning of class, your spine might not be quite warmed up yet, so we get to move the hips to get the lower back nice, relaxed, comfortable, easy, and flexible. So for pada-hastasana hands to feet pose, you want to bend your knees to start and really touch your stomach to thighs, chest to knees, and eventually face on the shins. You're going to cup your heels, like you're palming your heels, and bend your elbows back behind you. One day elbows touch behind you. So stomach to thighs, chest to knees, and then rather than looking at your pedicure, drop your head and see if you can touch your face to your shin. So eventually, no room for light and air between the upper and lower body. Now, if you're looking at that like, I'm super tight, no way can I grab my heels, no way can I touch my face to my shins, that's okay, you're not forcing the body. If you can't grab your heels, start by grabbing the backs of your legs. And if you can't quite touch your face to your shins, that's okay, but do let your head relax down, yeah? So eventually over time, you'll bend the elbows back more and touch the face to the shins. Some common mistakes that people make, they'll keep the weight in the heels rather than the toes, and they'll try to straighten their legs so that the upper body comes off the lower body. So here the weight's in my heels, my hips are sinking back behind me, ouch to the hamstrings. I'm trying to bend my spine here a little bit, but the stomach's off the thighs. The safest way to do this posture, keep your knees bent as a beginner. You're really trying to touch your upper body to your lower body, right? No room for light and air between the upper and lower body. And as you roll forward, notice if the arms start to straighten or even come out to the side. For this version of hands to feet, it's a little different than Ashtanga. You want to bend the elbows back. So see how my arms are almost making a 90-degree angle? I'm always trying to bend the elbows back a little bit more, and then you're going to start to pull to stretch the spine. So for sure you want to roll forward into the toes. Here's the weight in my heels, whoop, sinking back behind me. Here's the weight in my heels. Here's the weight forward into my toes. Touch your face to your shins and lift your hips up, stretch your upper body down. I'm pretty flexible, right? It's kind of easy for me to roll forward, but notice that the upper body's not coming off the lower body. If you're trying to lock your legs and the upper body comes off the lower body and the arms start to straighten or wing out or the shoulders start to tense, go back, bend your knees, wrap the elbows, whoop, drop your head. So you want to touch the face to the shins, below the knees the whole time. It's better to keep the upper body glued to the lower body, shoulders up away from the ears, elbows back, stomach in, eyes open. Eventually, as you roll forward, you'll start to lift your hips up and stretch your spine down. You actually want to feel the upper body sliding down the lower body to the floor. And at the end, maybe lock the legs. So pull on your heels, roll your weight into your toes, lift your hips up, try to lock your legs. Exhale, breathing, lock your legs, roll forward, lock your legs, eyes open, lock your legs. Last chance, lock your legs, lock your legs, lock your legs. So eventually top of the head comes to the floor. So again, we've already gone through some of, the mistakes that people make as far as letting the upper body come off of the lower body, straightening the arms, or having the weight in the heels. Remember, you want the weight in the toes the whole time, so hips lifting up and forward rather than back and down. Rather than hips sinking down and back, hips lifting up and forward, weight in the toes the whole time. Keep the shoulders out of the ears, so shoulders up away from the ears, stomach in, and the elbows wrapped behind you the whole time. Remember, even though, towards the end of that posture, you'll hear teachers say lock your legs, lock your legs, lock your legs. As a beginner, if you have a tight body, Don't worry so much about that. Really keep the upper body glued to the lower body the whole time. If you're not a beginner, you've been coming for a while, and it's easy to start to lock the legs, then rather than locking your legs with a super rounded spine, slowly over time the back will actually start to flatten, right? So eventually you're just pancaking down. So you can always back off by bending the knees more, or you can always go deeper by lengthening the legs more, but really think about hinging at your hips. Last little thing is how we come out. So you always want to come out the way we went in. So you went down with a flat back, arms with your ears. I often see people like roll out of it, which is, you know, like a thing that we do in a lot of other styles of yoga or even other postures. But in this one, you hinged at the hips to come back down. So to come out, you want to hinge at the hips again. Back flat, arms with the ears. Knees can bend the whole time, but make sure arms stay with the ears, back flat as you come up. If you have any questions, let me know. Have a great day. Hope to see you soon.